Palworld is being sued by Nintendo. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Delaney. Today we're gonna get into some cozy gaming tea. There is a lot of things we need to talk about today. Sims 5 being canceled, Palworld is getting sued by Nintendo, Tales of the Shire is delayed. So we're gonna get into all of those things. So let's start with like a few, let's start small and then we get to bigger, okay? So first we got Tales of the Shire is delayed, which I think is probably a good thing. It was supposed to be coming out sometime around fall 2024 was like the developer like time window. I do feel like there's like, I'm really excited about Tales of the Shire because it does look really like cozy and it has all the things that I would look for in a game, especially the fact that you get to be a hobbit, you can decorate your own hobbit hole and all of those different kinds of things. I was still a little bit like on the fence about the art style because it does look a little bit like it could be fleshed out a bit more, like there could be a little bit more going on with it, and it was like lacking. Like even some of the textures that I've seen like during the gameplay looks a little bit like it could be better. And I did feel like when they announced the trailer initially of Tales of the Shire like a few months ago, that it was kind of like the developers got rushed to push something out to have like this due date for around this time. But it's like you could kind of tell from that like first initial trailer we got that there still was like, it was like a lot of work that needed to be done, and it kind of were just kind of like a placeholder, it seems like to me. I'm not that upset about it being pushed. It says it's gonna be sometime in 2025. Okay, so the next thing, there's a My Sims Cozy Bundle that is actually going to be coming to the Switch in November. If you're not aware of what My Sims is, My Sims released on the Nintendo DS. It was like a separate series from The Sims. Like Sims used to do so many different like side quest games. Like they had, I remember I played Nintendo DS. I played Sims 2 on Nintendo DS, which is like literally the most unhinged, insane Nintendo DS game you could ever play. But My Sims kind of has similar vibes to Animal Crossing. Like you're dropped in this town, you have to help build it up and bring people to it, like that type of vibe. But it's like a chibi version of The Sims, and more like, I guess it was more like catered to like to the kiddos of The Sims during that time. I wonder if they're going to, there are other My Sims games, like there's My Sims Agents and like a whole bunch of others. I do wonder if they're going to eventually release those as well. I'm kind of interested in this, but also at the same time I do feel like I have a Nintendo DS, so I feel like I could, rather than paying like Nintendo Switch prices for like ports of 2 older games, I could spend way less money and find them on eBay for like really cheap. But that's just me because I know a lot of people don't have access to like Nintendo DS and things like that. So I think this would be cool for people who have never played the Sims game if they want to like access it through Nintendo Switch. This also segues us into our next big news, which is that Sims 5 is canceled. So I know Sims 5 it's been in the talks for a while. I feel like there's been rumors about Sims 5 releasing. I have to wonder, of course, if it's because they got a little scared about Enzoy releasing and everyone raving about the graphics and everything about Enzoy, that they decided to not move forward with a Sims 5. I feel like partial that, but also partial laziness, like to be honest. Before I get into more of my opinion about the Sims 5 cancellation, I did want to read an excerpt from the article that was released. So this is what the EA Vice President Kate Gorman said in an interview. So she says the way to think about it is historically the Sims franchise started with Sims 1 and then Sims 2, 3, and 4, and they were seen as replacements for the previous products. What we're really working with our community on is this a new era of the Sims. We are not going to be working on replacements of previous projects. We're only going to be adding to our universe. With that, you see that there are more ways to experience The Sims on different platforms, different ways to play, transmedia, and a lot of great offerings within this universe. So absolutely still continue to deliver expansion packs and updates. I think this is a very interesting statement. Like they basically also said something along the lines that they don't want players will have to basically restart from scratch in Sims 5 because everybody's already been like so invested in Sims 4, which is it's been 10 years now. But I honestly feel like this is kind of like a cop-out. I'm gonna like be real with y'all, mostly because I know there has been a lot of complaints in the Sims 4 community about like updates and the bug fixes and a lot of things that have been happening with the Sims 4 in general. So also the fact that since Sims 4 is free to play, you have to pay for the packs to be able to enhance your gameplay with it. In total is like upwards to like $1,000 if you're paying it without buying them on sale, which I always think is kind of like a little bit icky. It's a little bit icky. You shouldn't be spending that much much money on expansion packs and things for a game, like in total, if you want to get the full gameplay. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big sim player, but of course I know of the talks of the sim community, and like one of the biggest gripes in Sims 4 is that they basically downgraded a lot of the features that were base game, which I think is kind of, yeah, it's just not really sitting well with me. And I think it's even like more messed up that they're trying to paint this as a, like, we're thinking about you guys, the consumer, like you guys put so much time into playing the Sims 4, so why would you want to start over? But it seems more so that they didn't want to invest the money in making a Sims 5 because they kind of have competition right now, but also they don't want to lose all the money they've already invested in Sims 4, which means with like the expansion packs, like people are buying those things, people are using those things in their games, and I feel like they just didn't want to like go through the whole initial process of trying to enhance on features. Anyway, enough ranting about Sims 4. So I feel like one of the biggest things of this video right now is Palworld is being sued by Nintendo. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. So honestly, kind of saw this coming because Nintendo will literally sue anyone, like if they feel like a whiff of like something encroaching on the Nintendo property. And I honestly expected it when it first released and everyone was talking so much about Palworld at the beginning of this year and like how popular it got. I honestly expected it was gonna happen within the first like 3 months of the game being released. I feel like Nintendo wanted to wait and make sure that like they had all their ducks in a row before they decided to like give those papers over to Pocket Pair. There's like bits and pieces. I don't think all the details have been released, but apparently from what I've seen, like the things that's been buzzing around, it's not more so on like how the characters look like very similar. Like honestly, like it's like they basically put in Pokemon characters and then change the colors, and it's like we got Pokemon at home. Like that's how Pocket Pair decided to do the Palworld characters, the pals. But it seems like it's not based on that. They're more so focusing on like the game mechanics, and what I think that means is that like the game mechanic of how is a Pokeball, you throw it to capture the Pokemon, it's also very similar in the Palworld, where they have like same kind of similar vibe with the Pokeball that you catch the pals in. I'm really interested to see how this lawsuit works out. Like part of me is like, Nintendo is like a really big company and Pocket Pair is such an indie company, so part of me is kind of like, it's like basically the big bad company is coming for the small company. But another part of me is also like, Pocket Pair is not super innocent in this. I'm gonna be like, for me, in my opinion, because I feel like Pocket Pair, especially when Palworld came out, there were a lot of talks of them using AI to create these characters, and like I've talked of like the CEO kind of bragging about AI. They've also come out with like a game before Palworld that was very similar to like Breath of the Wild, which I mean honestly there's been a lot of like clones of Breath of the Wild anyway, but like they are not innocent. Like I feel like I really love indie games. I always say how much I love like playing indie games, but there are certain companies that are able to like put passion and uniqueness into their games, and I feel like Pocket Pair is a little shady. It's not, their hands aren't really clean in this instance, I will say. But we'll see how this goes, because I feel like this lawsuit will also be a very like, what would you call it, like a domino effect for other companies that would end up doing something, like any other companies that end up doing something similar with big game franchises and basically trying to like play off of that. So this is very interesting to me in the gaming world, and like how this will affect indie companies in the future. But anyway, those are my thoughts so far on all of the like cozy gaming news that we have. What do you guys think of all of this? Let me know down below. What are your opinions on like the Palworld versus Nintendo lawsuit and the Sims 5 being canceled? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one, and have a wonderful day. Bye.